Here, hold on, go off screen for a bit, lock my car. Hopefully the cell signal will be good. And I'm here to support. You know him, you love him, and Sean Long Island Audit up there. And this is insane how the police have circled the wagons to protect Sergeant Fahey. And welcome, Patrick. And there are police vehicles stationed here, since both Sean and myself let people know that we would be here peacefully, as always. I gotta fix my tie. With my tie, it's a little down there. There we go. Yes, welcome everyone. Please smash that like button as you come in here. And here's a couple police cars in front of me here. And let's see if they're stationed for us, which they are, most likely. And is anyone in them? I'm not sure. Anyone in the cars?
As I'm using my thumb now.
Ah, good. And no one in the cars here. And by the way, put a 1, if you can hear me clearly, put a 1 in the chat here. And so happy you all join in. Hello there, everyone. 1, good. Elizabeth, NZ, Kiwi, Edmund, Frank, is that Frank Pants? All right, thank you. So we are here at GROTON Town Hall Annex. And they have their computer open here. And remember, this is our police car, it's not theirs. And we are here to attend the meeting peacefully. Yep. And they're showing along the audit over there, of course. And so we have the Town Hall Annex. All right, let's check this out. Have not been here before. And please smash that like button, everyone. Please smash that like button here. I got 120 people in the room. I'd love to have 120 likes. And let's make sure this is the meeting place here, too. All right. So is this where the famous meeting is?
Yes, sir.
It starts at what time, 6:30?
I believe it's 6:30.
Okay. And are you here because we're here?
We're just here on standby, just to make sure everything goes smooth, that's it.
But you're never here normally, right?
I believe we aren't.
I'd say no. Were you here last meeting?
I was not, no.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well, let's head in there.
Are you gonna go to the door for you?
Yeah, sure. See how to protect and serve. Thank you. And it's Officer Pietri?
Yeah.
Counselor Good. Here. Counselor Jones. Excuse absence, I believe. Yes. Counselor McBride. Here. Counselor Merritt. Here.
Okay, here we are.
Counselor Patino. Here. Counselor Rust. And Mayor Franco.
Yeah, outer space.
We are now moving on to the public hearing. To speak during this portion of the meeting via Zoom, the board's email to council@groton-cc.gov.
Can you hear them?
And to speak in person, you may sign up on the meeting sheet that's in front. To speak on the design and construction of Groton Athletic Fields public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to sign up?
I have a question.
Public hearing on athletic fields?
I have a question. Is this only about the athletic field or about other items?
The public hearing right now is about athletic fields.
Because I heard there were 2 meetings. We may be in the wrong one. Is there another meeting taking place simultaneously?
There will be another meeting right after this.
Got it.
There is-
Great, thank you.
General public comment?
No,
Is there any public comment at this public meeting?
just the public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Burke, would you like to read the ordinance?
Is that,
Groton notice of public hearing.
they have no public comment? What's this? It's ridiculous.
Of the town of Groton, Connecticut, on Tuesday, July 22nd,
Welcome, Leon.
2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers.
Can you
Town
believe?
Hall, Groton, Connecticut.
Thanks for joining me, everyone. Full court press in the house.
Council meeting
Claudette.
held July 1st, 2025.
Full court press.
Ordinance appropriating
Prayer Larry.
$14,380,000 for the design and construction of Groton athletic fields, consisting of athletic field improvements at Fitch High School.
They don't seem happy to see us.
Sutton Park, Groton Middle School, and the former.
Just a
Colchester
feeling I have,
Elementary
shall we
School,
say.
and authorizing the issuance of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation. The full text of the proposed ordinance is on file in the office of the town clerk and available for public inspection and distribution. The following is a summary of the ordinance as approved by the town attorney in accordance with section 5.5.3 of the town charter. The proposed ordinance will, 1, appropriate $14,380,000 costs related to design and construction of athletic field improvements at Fitch High School, Sutton Park, Groton Middle School.
Heather, I will let him know. Thank you, Heather.
The project. The appropriation may be spent for design and construction costs, demolition.
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear.
And removal of prior material costs, materials, equipment, lighting, installation costs, related site improvements, including parking, road and sidewalk improvements, architect's fees, engineering fees, construction manager fees, legal fees, net interest on borrowings and other financing costs, and other expenses related to the project or its financing. The town council may reduce or modify the project and may delete portions of the project if funds are insufficient to complete the entire project. 2, authorize the town to issue bonds, notes, and temporary notes in an amount not to exceed $14,380,000. To finance the appropriation for the project, authorize the town manager and the director of finance
Are there any comments now?
the amount of funds, notes to be sold, and the amounts of any temporary notes to be sold.
I just told Sean.
Authorize the town manager
He's
and the
checking it
director
out
of
now.
finance to make various determinations and designations, and to perform all other acts which are necessary or appropriate to issue the bonds, notes, and temporary notes, and make certain declarations and authorizations related to the issuance of the bonds, notes, and temporary notes in a form qualifying for the exemption of interest thereon from federal income taxation and related to compliance with securities laws. 3, provide that the ordinance shall become effective only if it has been adopted by vote of not less than 5 members of the town council and by the representative town meeting, approved by the voters at referendum in accordance with section 5.5.5.1 and 9.13 of the town charter, and a notice of passage published in accordance with the provisions of the town charter. The foregoing summary is prepared for the benefit of the public solely for purposes of information, summarization, and explanation. The summary does not represent the intent of the town council of the town of Groton for any purpose. Dated at Groton, Connecticut, this 14th day of July 2025, Marisol Melendez, Groton Town Clerk. And before we open, I just wanted to mention a potential change that may be discussed tonight on the language. There's a potential change for 2 items within the ordinance that may be discussed by the council later in the COW. One is changing the title, and the intent is just to, the intent of the change is to clarify the intent of the ordinance. There's no actual change in intent. The title would potentially change to read ordinance appropriating $14,380,000 for the design and construction of Groton athletic fields, consisting of athletic field improvements primarily at Fitch High School, and if funds are remaining from said appropriation, allow such funds to be used at Sutton Park, Groton Middle School, and the former Colchester Elementary School, and authorizing the issuance of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation. So that's the change in title, making it clear first that the high school is the focus, and then if that gets done, funds can be spent somewhere else. The other change to reflect that same change in title would be under section 1. Section 1 would read, section 1, that the sum of $14,380,000 is appropriated for costs related to design and construction of athletic field improvements, primarily at Fitch High School, and if funds are remaining from said appropriation, allow such funds to be used at Sutton Park, Groton Middle School, and the former Colchester Elementary School. And I did speak with our bond counsel to make sure that that would not be an issue. He said it would not be because the intent is not changing. For clarification purposes, I support the change.
Thank you very much. Up first, we have Lauren Goff here. Please state your name and your address, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak.
My name is Lauren Goff-Here, 31 Portson Road, Groton. Good evening, members of the council. I would recommend removing Colchester Elementary School from this plan, project, and ordinance. Since the inclusion of Colchester does not align with previous comments by Mayor Franco, Councilor Rusk, and other town councilors, expressed that all of the closed school properties need to be returned to the tax rolls and should be developed into housing. This is what was expressed as the reasoning for turning the Pleasant Valley Elementary School into a high-density housing complex, which, like Colchester, is mostly level, has access to public water and sewer, and is located in a highly trafficked area of town. Unlike Pleasant Valley, which is in an area of town with a significant, pointed, and apparent perpetual lack of fields and other recreation parks, Colchester is already surrounded by a plethora of fields and active recreation areas, such as those at the library adjacent to the property, Paquan Plains Park directly adjacent to the property, pocket playgrounds throughout the nearby neighborhoods, and Sutton Park. Both Colchester's accessibility to public water, sewer, and highly trafficked roads in a central part of town, combined with existing recreation and other accommodations, would make Colchester just as much, if not more, of a prime location for several hundred units to be built to meet what the council finds is an absolute crisis of housing stock in this town. Furthermore, I do not believe, and I could be wrong, but that Colchester Elementary School went through the Town-Owned Property Evaluation Committee and public hearing process prior to being selected as part of this larger athletic fields complex. I'd like to understand why there is a disparity in the treatment for these two neighborhood schools. Pleasant Valley obviously receiving that TOP hearing, and Colchester, I could not find any record of receiving one. The town council should rectify this inconsistency as well before barreling forward with the proposed ordinance as written. Continuing with Colchester as part of this bond package will significantly increase the town's debt liability as well as remove a highly valuable property from the tax rolls forever, and would be hypocritical to this council's espoused beliefs and their very recent actions. This council should put Colchester Elementary out for RFP to develop housing, or the town council should make their actions consistent and reconsider their vote to turn Pleasant Valley into a high-density housing complex in a neighborhood that does not have any fields or major parks. And consider potentially even adding Pleasant Valley to this athletic fields complex project as an additional or alternative to meet the town's desire for more athletic fields. Or turn it into the neighborhood park that is so desperately needed and so very many people have been insisting on for so very long. Councilors, whatever you decide to do, at least be consistent and be honest about why you're doing what you're doing. And take action to become consistent to prove your leadership and earn the votes that you want or expect from Groton residents this fall. Thank you.
Next, David Franco.
Is it okay if I put my microphone here? People are having trouble hearing. Can I put it up there?
Hi, my name is Dave Franco. Do I have to be here?
Yeah.
Can I walk around?
Podium, please.
I can't walk around. Top sailing, Mystic. We're here to talk about the bond ordinance for design and construction ground athletic fields. I think it's long overdue. I'm well for it. I think what you guys have done is amazing, and I think what we're looking at for Groton in the future is going to be unbelievable for the kids and for the parents as well. So I'm all for it. I'm not for the housing. I'm not for any of that other stuff. Whatever you guys are doing, it's awesome. And I don't need 5 minutes of your time, so we're just going to move on from that. But yep, whatever it is, wherever I'm worth, it's going to be an amazing field for all the kids around. Thanks.
Up next, Neela Doyle.
Mike,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess I can.
Sorry about that.
Hi, Mike Doyle, 50 Elm Street, Groton, Knowing. Parent of Groton School alumni, started at Knowing School, and past assistant lacrosse coach at Fitch, and current NFA boys lacrosse assistant coach there. I'm fully endorsed the four-phase, $14 million price for the first phase. Strong endorsed field turf at the football stadium, and the side fields are also in this first phase. Field turf there. Also, the Colchester field should have designed for, not in this first phase, probably, definitely not in the first phase, but one of those fields should be a field turf for the youth football and soccer club use, and girls and boys lacrosse as well. And the four-phase approach, the $14 million for the first one is a great way to go at it. We'll get this going there. Hopefully we can get some money to get the field house put together. My daughter was on the track team, and there was no place for the girls to use, and the visiting locker room, quote-unquote locker room for the boys football team is behind also. And it'd be great to see the concession stand back in better shape. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we have anybody that signed up by 4 o'clock online?
We do not. I do see a hand up for Ian Thomas, so I wondered if it was for this purpose or maybe Councilor Borderline. Would you like me to allow to speak?
Sure.
Yeah, it's actually me and Councilor Bordelon. I'm using his computer as mine is not working. I've been here since the beginning of the meeting, but was not recognized. I was messaging John, the town manager, to promote me.
Okay, I will mark that you are not present. Thank you. Is there anybody else here that would like to speak on the public hearing for athletic fields? Okay. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing on athletic fields. It is 6:44. Motion by Parker. Second by Good. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Councilor Bordelon, I did not hear your vote.
Yeah, I'm in favor. Just trying to get my computer working things.
Thank you. That passes 8-0 to 0. All right, it is 6:44 and it is July 22nd, 2025, and we're calling the Town Council Committee of the Whole regular meeting to order.
This is the regular meeting now.
Okay, all are present except for Councilor Jones, who, as noted, is unable to attend this evening. Calendar and communications. Councilor Merritt, do you have anything you would like to share?
Not right now.
All right, thank you. Councilor Bordelon, do you have anything you would like to share?
I'm trying to get on my own computer. Can you skip me for now, please?
I just changed the setting. Can you hear it better now?
Just a comment to Councilor Borderline. I've not received any messages. Do they want to check where you're sending any messages to? Maybe try email otherwise.
Thank you. Councilor Pacino. Thank you. Councilor Rusk.
I received all the same emails that everyone else has received. I wanted to address something that was stated during the public hearing that I made a statement. I don't believe I've ever made that statement, but I did. I'd love to know when. And thank you to everyone who helped make the fireworks be a success this past week.
All right, thank you. Councilor McBride.
The normal communications on the matters that are pertaining to GROTON that all the councilors have received. The only other individual item that I received is I did speak to a resident regarding the desire to set up a long-term financial committee to review the long-term projections of the town. And I mentioned to them that
I just bumped the gain all the way up on my Rode mic receiver, so it should be a little better. Just bump up your volume all the way up. That's the best it's gonna get.
Discuss the long-term outlook of the town, but other than that, just the normal communications.
Thank you. Councilor Good.
I received all the same emails, also attended the fireworks. Very interesting fireworks this year, but it was still a lot of fun, and I appreciate the city of Groton and the town of Groton for putting them on.
Thank you. Councilor Parker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Same communications and nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to keep it
It's like a whispering. It's like a whisper meeting.
The council has received as well, and any that the council did not receive, I forwarded off to Mr. Burt as the town manager. On to approval of minutes. 2025-674, July 8th, 2025 minutes. Councilor Parker, would you like to take that one?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Make a motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes of July 8th, 2025 as so moved.
Moved by Parker, seconded by Ross. Do you have any?
I'm having technical difficulties. I just logged into my device. Can you accept me, town manager? So I can log off of this one.
Is there anybody that has any comments on the minutes from the July 8th meeting? Any changes, corrections? Counselor Bordelon on that?
Yes.
All right, I'm not seeing any hands. We'll take a vote on 2025-674, July 8th, 2025 minutes. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm opposed.
Okay. That passes 7 to 1 to 0, with Bordelon opposed. Up next is 2024-574-3, 517-529 Goldstar Highway Properties Extension Request. This in our packet is on page 9. Counselor Good, would you like to take that one?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 2024-574, 517-529 Goldstar Highway Properties Extension Request. To recommend a resolution to approve the 6-month extension request for the option to purchase agreement and to authorize the town manager to sign all applicable documents and agreements to finalize said request.
You're right. Most of them don't have a
Moved by
honor.
Bird, seconded by Ross.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Leroy. Thank you for joining
Good
me.
evening. You have a presentation.
I feel like I'm
Yes, thank you so much.
hosting a golf tournament.
And then
Yeah,
Bert is pulling that up.
Where your
I'm
Tiger Woods about to
Jessica,
go to the 18th hole.
Community Development Manager.
I'm David Orr with Orr Partners.
I just have, oh, there we go. I just have a very brief presentation for you, just 4 quick slides to provide you the background of the project.
Yes,
that we're
everyone
referring
show
to.
to Sean's
I've been
hearing
seeing
this
since
Friday
June
in
of
London
last year.
Superior Court.
And then
Connecticut.
David is here with Orr Partners to
This
jump into
Friday.
their request for the 6-month extension and answer any questions about the project, the timeline and the request overall. And the requested action of town council this evening is to review and approve that final 6-month extension request. Next slide, please. One more.
When I whisper, can you hear what I'm saying?
So this is just the overall project concept, and essentially this project is going to be a new apartment community that contributes to the town's goal
Elysian,
of
thank
new
you.
units, 6,400 roughly, with about 395 new units. And this project
everybody
is
who's
a
impacted.
partnership that helps us leverage our parcels with those of our partner. And in this map, you can see essentially the orange parcels are what the town owns at
Please
about
smash that like
11.75
button, everyone.
acres. And with this
Thank you,
partnership, we're allowed
NCQE.
to put them together
Please
with
smash that like
blue
button.
parcels next to it, about 5.91
We
acres.
got 9 or 19
for a
people
much
in here,
more
only
advantageous
472
assembly of
likes, so please smash that
land,
like button. Let's
so
get
that
this
we
out
have more
tomorrow.
impactful project. The project also has off-street parking and resident amenities. It has the 20% retained land in its natural state for the zoning requirement. And the structures, as you saw the last time this was before you in June, are intentionally set back from the land preserve and include a proposed trail connection to the trail system within the Avalonia Land Conservancy land. Next slide, please. All right, this timeline's in your packet, so available to the public as well in the agenda packet. So we won't go step by step, but it was created to provide just an easier, step-by-step following through the stages that this project has gone through. And our focus this evening is, of course, in the green at the end there, where we're asking for the 6-month extension to finalize that project and then move into groundbreaking and construction in spring of 2026.
Hello, Ohio. Hello,
Next slide, please.
hello, Puerto Rico.
All right, so for the project update, the last time you saw this, you approved
I am
PJ
all the way
and
up
Partners
front.
assignment
I'm in
of
the very
Orr
front row,
Partners
Randy.
development team. The concept plan update, just to accommodate staff's recommendations and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendations for the site plan, and you approved a 10-month extension for the project as it moved through permitting. And since last June, the project has received its site plan approval from the Town of Groton Planning and Zoning Commission. It's begun additional permitting to the state of Connecticut,
Hello,
Department
Michigan.
of
Hello, brown
Transportation.
sugar.
And the
Hello,
development
Jennifer,
team this
Bridget,
evening will go
Brad.
over that project update
And
and
Jesus.
progress questions that you have and the reasoning for the extension and where it gets us. All right, and the next slide, again, it's just that request for review and approval of the final 6-month extension. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer those, in particular the OR team. And if you can leave that open just in case we need to make slides.
I'm not going to be able to see Right.
Yeah, just a comment, I'm in favor of this because I think we all want this to be developed. My only comment would be, hopefully this moves forward quickly and it's completed because, as we discussed, I think, a year ago, I had concerns over the purchase price because it was at $228, which was in, I think, 2016 or so. That purchase price is obviously elevated quite substantially in 9 years, so, it's a great deal for you, it should be a great deal for you, but I just wanna make sure, you're gonna move forward with this because I know myself, if this comes back, if I'm here, I'm not sure if I'll be here, but if I was to be here, I would question whether or not that purchase price should be, increased because it's been such a long period of time. So I wish you all the project, I hope it moves forward, but I just think it needs to continue to move forward, so.
Yeah, so if I may, first of all, good evening and thank you for your service to the community. I will tell you, as I travel across the United States, buildings built in 32 states now, we've never had a better reception than we have here in Groton. Deb Jones and John Renner, the people have been very, very good to work with, and I want you to know that. Some of the best. So that being said, so our plans, we've been earnestly pursuing the plans. They'll be done at the end of October, Councilor McBride, at which time we will bid them. And one of the reasons for the extension is that we can't get secure our final financing until we have a guaranteed maximum price on the project from a contractor. A project of this scale, and this is a $100 million project, requires that. There's just no way we'll get financing without it. So that's really the biggest thing, that and ASTA. We filed immediately with ASTA in March. We've already had comments. Our second submission is being submitted to them. So it's our intention to complete the plans and break ground at the beginning of next year, first quarter of next year. We're full steam ahead with this. I will tell you that we had some involvement, some oversight on the Trident Square project. I don't know if you've heard, but the leasing there is going phenomenally well. Over 100 units at this point, only been open for 3 or 4 months. So the demand is there, and we're starting to see these units to serve the community. So thank you.
Councilor Good?
Could you just repeat when you're hoping to break ground?
First quarter of next year. Yeah. As soon as the ground is thawed enough, we'll start digging.
Councilor Bordelon?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for choosing GROTON. I know there are some concerns, about timelines. Unfortunately, there have been some delays on projects in the past, and there's been some criticism because of that, and some of them don't come to fruition. So I just, with these extensions, hope that it's not going to change the tapestry of the big goal or plan. But also I can share my concerns, Councilor McBride's comments on the purchase price 9 years ago versus now. Is that being taken into consideration at all? I mean, because you guys providing housing, which provides a service, but we're also 9 years later, we're still at a lower cost of what the selling price is. So I guess through the mayor and town manager, I'm just curious as to what that looks like when you see such delays.
One thing I'll mention, this is a very complicated project that involves not just our land, so our prospects are limited. We have an agreement in place that calls for the sale price, so unless we're ready to restart the whole thing over again, that's the sale price.
And commensurately as well, the construction costs have gone up so much since then. I think if we were to break it down, over $100 million in investment is still pretty extensive in comparison. And so a lot has changed, including how expensive the project is overall since then.
2 things have dramatically affected the development industry. Increases in hard costs, largely due to the breakdown of the supply chain from COVID, and interest rates. And we're able to overcome those now, honestly. And it's with good pricing on the land, to be brutally honest with you.
Councilor Bordelon, do you have anything else you'd like to?
Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. I guess, the questions we have to ask as we're representing the community, and these are the questions that we get. Why has it started? Why all the delays? So it's just important to put it all out there. And what is the plan of, we hit another wall, will there be another extension, or like how many extensions is this contract for?
We're not seeking any more extensions. Our plan is to move full steam ahead. What we can't predict, Counselor, is something that we don't control, like ASTA and ASTA's approval. We're on our second submission with ASTA. We think that we'll get our approval in the late fall. It's about an 8-month cycle for them. So that would be, the things that we can control, like getting the plans done, and getting the bids done, that we won't need an extension for, but if there was any need for any other extension, and we believe that with this 6 month extension, Counselor, that we've built in adequate contingency time so we don't have to come back before you again.
Great, thank you for your answers, and appreciate your time and clarifying, the questions that, things that were brought to my attention as far as how extensions work and, concerns for, CAP projects that had extensions that never came to fruition, so, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, I don't see any other hands, so we're going to take a vote on the 2024-574-3, 517 to 529 and Goldstar Highway Properties Extension Request. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Counselor Bordelon, your vote?
I'm in favor.
Thank you. That passes 8 to 0 to 0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to welcoming you to the groundbreaking.
That would be wonderful. We appreciate that. Up next is 2025-671, Nuclear Safety Emergency Performance Grant, FY26. In our packet, this is on page 54. All right, up next is Councilor McBride. Would you like to take that one?
Sure, thank you. Item number 2025-671, Nuclear Safety Emergency Performance Grant, fiscal year 2026. I'd like to make a motion to recommend a resolution authorizing the town manager or his designee to execute any and all documents and to perform all acts deemed necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of the grant program, to accept the grant funding in the amount of $100,000 and refer to the RTM per Rule 6.5.3.
Second, Parker. Moved by McBride, seconded by Parker. Mr. Burke, are you going to speak?
Yeah, that'll cover it. This is an annual grant that we regularly receive. We apply for it in advance for what our usage for the funds would be. This year, for the $100,000, $48,000 for salary reimbursements and $52,000 for emergency operations center upgrades. The upgrades include replacing antiquated electronics. For example, VHS recorders still in the EOC with large touchscreen TV, news monitors, new dispatch screens, and tools for greater visibility, central awareness for incidents occurring throughout the town. There will also be a mirrored screen installed in dispatch so they have eyes on what's going on down in the EOC. So the EOC is our emergency operations center when there's a large scale event, so make sure we're prepared for that. VHS is not the latest technology.
Do you have anybody that would like to comment on this? Councilor Rusk?
Just one quick clarifying question. The $48,000, is that in the budget or is that in addition to the budget?
That's not in addition to our budget, that'll supplement the budget.
Okay.
No increases for any staff involved.
Okay, I don't see any hands, so we'll take a vote on 2025-671, Nuclear Safety Emergency Performance Grant, FY26. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Councilor Bordelon, can you repeat your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Up next, 2025-686, Surviving Spouse Property Tax Exemption. This is in our packet on page 57. On this topic, I will be recusing myself as my mother is actually one of the 6 members that are up for discussion this evening. So with that being said, we need to put in a pro tem at this moment to run the meeting while I am recused. I will close the nominations, and we will vote on Counselor Rusk being the pro tem for this item. Counselor Bordelon, your vote?
Abstain.
Counselor Good?
Aye.
Counselor McBride?
Yes.
Counselor Merritt?
Yes.
Counselor Parker?
Yes.
Counselor Pacino?
Yes.
Counselor Rusk? That is 6 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 abstention. Bordelon. Okay, so I am going to vacate the seat. And please let me know after this item is over.
Okay. Counselor Pacino, will you read the motion, please?
Item 2025-686, surviving spouse property tax exemption. Motion to recommend a resolution approving the local option to allow a property tax exemption, starting with the 2025 grand list for eligible surviving spouses of veterans per Public Act 25, TAC 168. I so move.
Second.
Okay, motion was made by Pacino, seconded by Good.
Use the agenda. Check it out.
G. Morrison, Director of Finance, and I have with me Mary Gardner, the Town Assessor. Do you want to give us an overview? Sure. So in the end of June, Governor Lamont signed Public Act 25-168, which covered a number of items. The one we are bringing to you tonight is just pertaining to the surviving spouse property tax exemption. There was some additional language in there that allows for eligibility for different criteria based on the October 1st, 2024 death date. So we are bringing to you this option to see, because it's a local option, to elect to exercise this. And if so elected, it would affect about a half a dozen individuals, surviving spouses in the town. Okay. Does anybody have any other comments?
Welcome if you just joined us. We're at the GROTON Connecticut Town Hall meeting. I got Sean Morgan on it right here.
I'm in favor of this, however, I would like
We
to
both want to
discuss
speak
potential
about obviously the
My reasoning is,
Sergeant Pay stuff.
more comfortable with that. My question or concern is that, do we open ourselves up to other residents coming into the town? Let's just say buying a $1 million house and us losing the property tax from that. So my concern is there a way we can limit?
We just heard the mayor just went outside.
Is there a way we can limit, or put a cap?
The mayor just recused herself, and I want to ask her some questions peacefully, as always. Hey, hello there. Where'd the mayor go? I wanted to ask her, is it her, some questions? I heard she came out.
There are other
We
options.
saw somebody that were standing here and then just went inside. She probably just went into the bathroom or the employee office.
Oh, cool. All right.
The assessment exemption to the median overall
Yes, we'll ask her
assessment.
questions about Fahey.
And then there's another one where you can
It'd be a great opportunity to do so.
increase the exemption to allow for a land exemption, but it's difficult when you think about, we already have.
The only thing is I have one mic inside right now
that are receiving this
and one mic on me, so
Just to expand
sound may
it,
conflict.
when the legislation was put into effect, it created 2 classes.
I don't want to go
of veteran individuals. Some
get that
have
other mic. I don't want to disrupt the meeting, of course.
the date of the death of the veteran and those group
Let's see.
were excluded. So
Employees only.
any
So,
change that you.
of course, we will not enter that space. It's magnetically locked anyway, of course. Always will respect these signs. But is she here somewhere? Take a look.
Process that can really bog down.
You can help me look. Anyone see her anywhere? The
So
mayor.
I think tonight we were just gonna try to focus on this.
I don't see her.
I think we were planning on.
She
coming
recused
back at a
herself
later date to talk about
from the meeting.
Other
local options that are allowed under the statute.
Then you get a quick view of town hall here. Mechanical room here.
Just trying to look at how.
So messy.
Because we can't exclude.
Could be some fire hazards here. Look at all that paper right next to a boiler.
That's my concern is the potential. I mean, here we are.
Doing a mini
Looking at ways to save money
audit here.
with the federal government, and here we are, providing, I know it's not substantial, $25,000, but I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mind stop getting out of the room at all, because it's unfortunately very dry. It's like watching lead paint dry, a lot of these meetings. And if I was doing these meetings, or if you were doing these meetings, it would be so much more interesting. I mean, there's certain business, obviously, you got to go over the town's business, but do they have to be so freaking boring? Lighten, have some energy, some enthusiasm. You're here to help people, for God's sakes. I feel like I'm at worse than a funeral. I've been at funerals that have been more joyful than this meeting. It's crazy. All right, so I don't see her anywhere. We're gonna go back in.
I'm thinking of the 80% limit or whatever.
And
I guess
we're all taking one for the team here.
I'm good for now. I'll think about this.
And Sean and I want to speak, of course, and ask questions about the whole Fahey thing, Fahey violence. Let's go back in.
So is the meeting on the board right now? Are we gonna?
I don't think so. I think tonight's referral is just to whether or not the town would like to expand the widow's exemption to widows whose veteran spouses died before October 1st of 2024, because that's the limit right now.
And then we discuss the limitations at a later date.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Burke?
I was just gonna basically reiterate the same thing, that what's on the agenda is solely on this option. There'll be other options, there's several options to be brought, and I do agree with the assessor that I think it's good to have a cap, the immediate assessment cap, that should probably apply to not only these, but to the earlier.
Councilor Bordelon?
I call this the mumbling meeting.
Yeah.
They're mumbling.
Question, how does this relate to, the letter we received from a constituent, Doris Pulaski, and her neighbor, Mary Gardner? Those veteran taxes, how does that relate to this?
Can you remind me what Doris's letter said?
John, do you have it?
I'm looking for it.
I can
It's
pull
the
it up.
trust agreement, so this is a different thing.
Yeah, this is a totally different thing, Councilor Bordelon.
So could you just explain, because that one said veteran in there, I just wanted, like, are any of those, like, I'm trying to, there's a lot to look at, right? So are those folks also part of this as well, or are they one and the same, or some in both categories? That's what I'm trying to ask, because that letter was really concerning that we received.
That's not part of this law in any capacity.
Okay, so that's a whole different
That's a whole
story.
different thing.
So, Councilor Bordelon, we should probably address that at another time instead of tonight with this. Definitely something that can be discussed, but not in this, situation.
So my question was simply asking for clarifying and understanding this thing before. I think when one discusses things, sometimes it's good to bring all what programs veterans have for tax relief so that we can see. Looking at a narrow scope review limits one's ability to be able to effectively gauge how we are performing as a town. So that's why I was asking. It'd be great. When I looked at these in other areas, there was a grid that towns had where it had all the veteran benefits that were currently in effect and how they were being applied and how they would affect. So that's, just a thought, but,
I'm sorry, could you just, for clarification, can you repeat what you said? There's a grid? Is that what you said?
Or you can provide a grid. So I'm looking for knowledge, right? When you vote on something, you don't want to vote on something narrowly. You want to look at the whole picture of how the town is performing and what benefits. So then we got that letter about another veteran's taxes and a notice that they were no longer going to be exempting them. And I'm just curious how this all looks. This is one thing that's come up, but usually you can talk about all of the veteran things under the same umbrella at the same time so that we can have an understanding of how many, what other ones are out there, how does this affect? Like, and this is a very narrow scope for me to make a decision.
Okay, hold on one second.
I don't believe they have the authority to make a change on that, but certainly it can be, relayed to you at some point.
So I guess the question was, it is a military benefit, it's not something that we can control, and it
The one
doesn't
in
have.
trust is not a local option type thing.
Okay, so it's not something that the council has an
Yeah,
option
for
to
the
change,
overrides, correct.
and does it affect surviving spouses?
Not at this point.
No,
No, okay,
no, these two different programs altogether.
okay.
I guess for me, it would be nice, if you could send out a list of all the programs with tax exemptions, I'll follow up with an email. For me, I may be an extension tonight for lack of knowledge and information. I was doing a lot of research with other towns, and I was able to find all these programs all delineated out. And the public could see, how many people were exercising their right to each program. And I just had trouble navigating it on our own personal website. And this might be what we're talking about, but as a example, it would be good to know all the other programs that are affecting veterans in our town. We're speaking about one other program. So for me, listen more to the conversation. Huge supporter of military veterans, especially disabled and widowed. But I definitely want to understand what this looks like, and get a better understanding of the other programs that link separately that others could apply for. So, thank you.
Mr. Bright, is that something that can be sent out?
The loudest thing in the whole meeting is the beeper that tells people their time is up. It's ridiculous.
Certainly, in terms of putting numbers of who's doing what might take a little time. We might present it when we come back in a couple of weeks, within the next 2 weeks with the rest of it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Councilman McBride?
Thanks, just one last comment. Again, I'm in full support of this. As I mentioned before, my concern is if we look at this list, there's one individual and I don't know who the individual is, but there's one individual that is saving $8,900. To me, that's a substantial sum of money that they're not paying. So I think I look forward to, as Tommy and Bert said, possibly looking at, making this a medium assessment going forward with these programs, because I think these individuals do receive a benefit, but I think at some point, when you're talking about $8,900 property tax, I think it's a little excessive where, that's a pretty substantial house. So I'm in support of it, but I hope the council will consider the median assessment going forward in the future. Thank you.
And that will be on a very soon upcoming agenda, within the next 2 cows, certainly. At this point, it's more of an equity issue to allow these 6 to join the 80, and then we'll look at them as a group in that other option.
Council Bordelon?
Thank you. I'm not sure how I feel about the whole median breakdown. Again, I just want to look at the big picture. I can understand Councilman McBride's stance on it. My concern is, nobody's fighting to be in this category. Let's just face that. I'll just put that out there. If one is to fall into this category, it's a pretty extreme situation to get here, and nobody really wants to be there. So this is not a large percent of our community. Therefore, we are the submarine capital of the world. We do have a lot of veterans who decide to reside here. And I just don't want it to feel like it's being perceived possibly, or one thinks that people may just come here for that. But with that, I don't want to limit somebody who's got a family home that's at a different level, and just because they become widowed or disabled veteran, that they should have to pay the extra difference because they choose to stay in their more affordable, luxurious house. Again, did not choose to lose their life or limb as a result of serving their country. So I'm concerned about putting that cap. I don't know. But we are a transient town, and we could have friends move in from all over, and that should be something that we embrace and accept. So with that, I'm in support of this, but I do think we need to look at all of it. And again, it's a small percent of people right now, but with everything going on in our country, and people, it doesn't have to be. I have a question. So does this delineate if the current active duty member is injured and disabled and they're not at war? That's one of my questions.
This referral that's on the table is for widows whose husbands were deemed 100% permanent and total disabled at the time of their death.
Right, so they could have been injured while working on a submarine, but not actually at war.
It doesn't have anything to do with at war or not at war. It's just if the Veterans Administration issues an award letter that says this veteran was 100% permanent in total at the time of their death.
Got it, okay, yeah, and so I think that's very important, and we're seeing mental health with our veterans as well, that are being 100% permanently disabled due to, you know, some of the conflicts that they've been a part of, and so I just think this is great, I think it's important, and I think that the widows should be supported, so, absolutely, thank you.
I'm sorry, Councilor Bordelon, were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Pacino.
Thank you. I'd just like to reiterate, we are not talking about caps tonight. We're just adding these 6 widows to the other 8, so we can have one larger group that we can talk about and maybe talk caps some other day. But today, we're just adding these 6 widows.
Correct. And,
Okay.
and one consideration to make is the statute lets you pick a beginning date. From what date of the widow's, you know, spouse passing to October 1st of 24. And we have a widow of a veteran who's 100% P&T veteran, died in April of 1963.
Why wasn't she on before?
She's getting veteran widow benefits, but not this benefit.
Understood.
It's a new rule.
Thank you. I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna take my turn. Just a couple of clarifying questions. So with this new state law, anyone who could become a surviving spouse after October 1st, 2024, they are automatically included in this? Or is that, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, when Public Act 2446 was adopted last year, it was effective October 1st of 2025. If you are 100% disabled, permanently and totally, then you received the full dwelling exemption.
And if that spouse dies, who's permanently and totally disabled, their surviving spouse automatically gets this, correct?
Correct.
So we are simply bringing in 6 people who lost their spouse prior to this date.
Correct.
We're including that, okay.
Correct.
Is there any qualifier if this person gets remarried?
As long as they remain a widow, they receive the benefit. If they remarry, the benefit is removed.
Okay, thank you. I am 100% behind this. I think we owe our veterans, and for full disclosure, my husband's a veteran, but we owe our veterans, especially those who have been injured, more than we can ever repay. So we owe their families just as much. So this is 6 people, and I can't qualify based on when their spouse died to say yes or no. It is from today on, or we can retro it. Like, what is the request?
Yeah, the way the statute's written, this exemption goes into effect for the 10-125 grant list. So that's the first time we can place it on the grant list.
Thank you. For me, this is a definite yes. Thank you.
Point of clarification?
Yes. Your point, or your question?
Yes, I guess I could ask, some states consider, people who have cohabitated for an extended period of time as being legally married. Is this gonna be like legally married with a actual marriage license, or how would that work?
The statutes don't specify, but it does say as long as the widow remains a widow. In other words, doesn't remarry.
So, for clarification, does the state of Connecticut have a common law marriage law? I don't know that. Okay, so.
Point of clarification?
Your question?
To my understanding, I believe Connecticut does, so that's my question. I'd love to have that teased out. That's not included here. And also, my other point of clarification is, we obviously legal same-sex marriage, but I want to make sure that this is not excluding and is including anybody in same-sex marriages as well.
Mr. Burke?
Connecticut does not recognize common law marriage, however, if you move from a state that does, then it applies.
Okay, and same-sex marriage is legal in Connecticut, therefore it would apply, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody else who has not had a turn or two? Okay. So all those in favor of this? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Council Borderland, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your vote. You're muted. Council Borderland, you're muted.
No, I voted.
How did you vote, please?
I voted in favor.
Okay, thank you. So that motion passes 7-0 to 0. Thank you. We'll take a very short recess. I'll go grab the mayor. It is 7:25.
That's the mayor right there. Thanks everyone for sticking this out. I know some people can't hear very well, some say can.
You don't know if everyone wants that coffee. I think the smell, people say the smell.
You're right, Buck, accountability.
We're back in a recess. I didn't know.
Oh, that was a counselor, that wasn't the mayor. The mayor's back now.
Okay, it is 7:26.
Where did she go? I couldn't find her. That's the mayor.
All right, on to the next item, 2025-635-1, bond ordinance for design and construction of Groton athletic fields.
I thought it said Mayor
This
Fahey
is
for a
in our
minute.
packet on
Looks like
page
Mayor Francis.
58. We had a public hearing this evening. And Councilor Russ, would you like to take that one?
Yes, Madam Mayor, item 2025-635, bond ordinance for design and construction of Groton athletic fields. Make a motion to recommend a resolution approving the ordinance appropriating $14,380,000 for the design and construction of Groton athletic fields consisting of athletic field improvements primarily at Fitch High School, and if funds are remaining from said appropriation, allow such funds to be used at Sutton Park, Groton Middle School, and the former Colchester Elementary School, and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation.
Second, Pacino.
Moved by Russ, seconded by Pacino.
Oh, and to recommend,
Yes.
sorry, it's on 2 pages, and to recommend the ordinance to the representative town meeting for Rule 6.5.3.
Yes.
I continue to second.
Thank you.
This is the whisper meeting, so my whispering is very appropriate.
All right, before we get into a full discussion, I'd like to make the amended motion to add the changes that were sent to us to include, this section that
Yes,
says
pursuit of
primarily at
justice.
Fitch High School, and if funds are remaining from
It would have been
said
good to have you here, too.
appropriation, allow such funds to be used at.
So-
I would like to add that also into section 1. Yes.
So, my question is, didn't Council Russ read that first portion, or just need to add the second portion? She just read that, new motion.
I read this. Not read this.
Yes, but I'm changing it to this, because that's not what was produced in the public hearing. And on the original, what we had originally came up with originally, on the substantive pages, so I'm amending it.
section 1 to include that extra verbiage.
So because she read this.
She read the title. then
Okay,
she-
thank you. Then I make the amended motion, thank you, Councilor Parker, for catching that. I would make the amended motion to add that same verbiage into section 1.
Second.
So it's amended by Franco, seconded by Parker. Add additional verbiage into
There's
section.
the odor of corruption, the odor of cowardice, and the odor of cover-up, the 3 C's.
Your question.
I don't know Robert's rules, but shouldn't we have read this initially and then revised it, not started with it?
You don't have to, you can read it, you can read the motion, that is, not verbatim, that we have to put it into the motion that way.
Okay.
Am I correct, Mr. Byrd?
That's a recommended motion.
Yes, he needs some suspension over this.
Okay, so now
And
we're gonna
the
open up
police
to comments. Does anybody have anything they would like to comment on this? Councilman Pratt?
I'll just say I'm in support of the motion. I think it provides clarity to what this council move forward with, to have the priority be Fitch Middle School, then the others thereafter. So I'm supportive. Thank you.
Fitch Middle School?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Merritt?
Yes, I'm in support of this. It's been long overdue, and I think it's time to quit kicking the can down the road and go forward.
Thank you. Council Bordelon?
Thanks, so just to be clear, this would only do a portion of the high school in phase 1?
This is what we've been talking about in phase 1, yes, for the
Right.
$14,380,000, yes.
So it wouldn't fix all of the projected initial things that were requested, is that correct?
No, that would be,
Okay,
I
cool.
think, close to $60 million now. This is just for this phase 1 thinking.
Right, so the whole high school is not fully being the priority as of the entirety. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Do you have anything else you would like to share, Council Bordelon?
Yeah, a question for you through the town manager. So this is just doing what sections of the sports fields?
This is the athletic field, the bleachers, the general field next to the football field, the concession area.
Not bathrooms.
That, the concession area includes bathrooms.
So, but the other fields are gonna be on hold. I guess, I mean, this is
That's what we had passed, yes.
Yeah, consensus of the council, but for me, my heart was to get all of Fitch done, and this voted phased in thing doesn't mean each year it's gonna win the vote, so we will have half-done things, so I'm concerned about that, but I will support this because it's something and it's, long overdue.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any comments? Councilor Good?
I'm in full support of this. I've talked to many community members who are also in full
They are
support of
basically whispering, everybody. They have microphones and speakers, but they're not speaking normally. They're basically whispering.
Councilman McBride?
Thank you. Just a question. I'm assuming when this goes out to the public, the phased approach will be mentioned so people are aware that the bigger picture is more than just this one phase?
Definitely all of the summer information with the actual, I don't know if it would be in the referendum language or not, but that'll be up to the council later. The council will set that referendum language. That will go out.
Okay, so we can, I'm just thinking when we do the referendum, like maybe to consider mentioning phase 1, so people know, but I'm in favor of that, thank you.
All right, well, I'm absolutely in favor of it. I'm very excited about this, and I'm excited that, we are finally here after all this time. So we will take a vote.
There's a,
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Bordelon.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well that I do agree that we need to be very clear in the write-up of what it's covering so that people understand that, whatever referendum goes forward does not protect, lawyer. But again, happy that this is moving forward, something that I got involved with, over, I don't know, 6 years ago perhaps. And, some people organically came forward, and were concerned, and we do have a lot of ADA compliance up there. And health concerns as far as the safety and well-being. So I do think this is, so overdue, it's shocking that it's still sitting. But again, I think it's gonna be, the details are gonna be the most important as to what this is looking like and what it means, for the referendum. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will happily now take a vote from this council on 2025-635-1, the bond ordinance for design and construction of the Groton Athletic Field. All those in favor?
Aye. Madam Mayor, you have to mention that you're doing it with the amendments.
That's right, the amendment. All right, so I'm sorry, we're gonna take a vote on the amended. Thank you for catching that. We're gonna take a vote on the amended motion put on to add the additional verbiage in section 1 that was read in the original motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Council Bordelon, I didn't hear your vote.
I'm in support.
Thank you. That passes 7 to 1 to 0 with Parker opposed. All right, now we will take a vote on the full motion with the amendment on 2025-635-1, bond ordinance for design and construction of the Groton Athletic Fields as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? That passes 7 to 1 to 0 with Parker opposed. All right, up next is 2025-683, the National Opioid Manufacturers Settlement. This is going to be on page 61 of our packet. Mr. Birch. Oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna have it put on the floor. Councilor Merritt, would you like to take that one? It's on page 61.
Okay. 2025-683 National Opioid Manufacturer Settlement. Motion to recommend a resolution to authorize the town of Groton to become a participating subdivision in the opioid manufacturer settlements.
Moved by Merritt, seconded by Rusk. Now, Mr. Burr, would you like to give us a synopsis on this?
Sure. As the council is aware, the town had participated in earlier opioid settlements. Through what we're expecting through the end of this month, the town's collected, anticipated about $450,000 total, the bulk of which has already been awarded out. But we are going to have a discussion for some unallocated funds at our August 12th COW. That'll be upcoming. But so it's been a significant amount of money that we've received through that first phase of settlements. There's a new round of national opioid manufacturing settlements, and you have to, again, opt in to participate, receive the funding as we did, same thing we did the first time. So we're just looking for approval to opt in and be able to receive revenue. And there's no indication yet what kind of funds will be available with this.
Okay. Councilor Bordelon.
Thank you. For me, it's a no-brainer. I think it's a great option to opt in. I do hope, though, that we get ample notice to make sure that we can, allow the community to know and cast our net wide to, offer it to folks to, apply and come up with that type of process. So that's through the mayor, the town manager. When will we have to kind of bring it forward to the council as we chose to kind of come up with a application process?
Well, it's going to be on the list funds, cannabis tax, opioid funds, and things for unallocated funds.
Thank you. I'd also like to say that the motion on the floor is actually about the this opioid manufacturer settlement, since that would be a FOIA violation, I believe.
Sorry.
That's quite all
Just
right.
asking about general.
Councilor Bordelon, so if we
so
can keep
for
the
this,
topic on hand, thank you.
Yeah, good, thank you. So these manufacturing this current opioid settlement, what things can these funds, if we opt in, be used for? Because I think that's important to know when, as we look for these funds, when looking at about casting the net wisely.
believe there's, I'm not sure we call it otherwise, I'm not sure there are any particular requirements on this, but we'll have that for, it'll be the same as round one, but we'll have that for the August 12th meeting.
That'd be great, because some of the reading that I was doing, I tried to research these particular manufacturers and this settlements, and some things can be used for, playing fields and things like that, as well as, on the ground emergency response, for addiction as well. But some of the stuff I was reading when I was looking at this settlement or something like it, and I was trying to get clarity on, one of the things was prevention to drugs, which, having accessible, things for youth to do was part of one of them, so I was unclear. So I'd love to have that all presented, when we can. Thank you.
Mr. Byrne?
I stand corrected against myself. Looking at back in 22 of some of the documents for settlement, now, it doesn't mean that everything's gonna stay the same for the next round, but the first round, it said at least 70% of the funds to be used for future opioid remediation efforts. And then if you spend the rest on other things, then you just have to report what you're spending it on.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. So that leaves the remaining open to other programs or things to help.
Thanks for
Yeah,
trying to film more. Yes, audio is slow.
It doesn't cost us anything, or there's no anything else but just saying yes, pretty much. Is that correct, Town Manager, through the mayor?
Yes, that's as far as I'm aware at this point. This is the process we did the first round.
Yeah, so I think that's great, and with these funds, it'd be great to see how we delineate it out after. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands. I think this is, something we absolutely should sign on to, as we have in the past, and we have received a plethora of opioid settlement money in the past due to, I believe it's the amount of prescriptions that were doled out within our community, and it was a very large sum. So, this will definitely help our community in some recovery phases, so that would be awesome if we can get that kind of settlement money again.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by Parker, seconded by Bordelon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, I would just like to address the council. I suffered a grave injustice
That passes 8
here
to
in the
0
town of
to 0.
Groton.
We're
Excuse me,
sustained at
Councilwoman,
7:42 p.m.
I suffered a grave injustice in your town by the Groton Police Department. My First Amendment rights were violated. I was unlawfully arrested by the Groton Police Department, given a $75,000 bond. Why won't you talk about this? This is a grave injustice that happened in your town, and none of you will speak up against the injustice. None of you will say a word against the injustice. I was unlawfully arrested along with my cameraman, a journalist, unlawfully arrested, and none of you will speak up against it.
Cowards, look at the cowards run.
Mrs. Mayor, nothing to say about the grave injustice. I'm not breaking any laws, officers. Do you have anything to say, Councilman, about the grave injustice that took place in your town? Where you were elected to serve, a journalist unlawfully arrested?
You just blocked me.
Nothing to say. Ma'am, do you have anything to say about the Groton Police Department? What are you guys going to do to rectify the situation? What are you all doing? Excuse me, don't bother with me, man. I appreciate it.
Sir.
What are you going to do? What are you all going to do to make this right? This is a grave injustice that took part in your town, and none of you, all of you are cowards. You hire the police, why? Because you're scared of a camera? You're scared of a camera? This guy wants to get into trouble on me. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that guy assaulted me and Sean.
I can do what I'm doing. You can't do what you were doing. You can look all you want. You can't touch, all right?
That guy body checked me as well.
Councilman, do you have any comment on the injustice, the grave injustice, a cameraman and a journalist arrested in your town, Councilman? Councilman, do you have any comment? I saw you giving some dirty looks while I was speaking.
talk about it? Why not have a conversation? Why not have a conversation about a grave injustice that happened in your town, the town you were elected to serve? I might not be a resident here, but I came here in a journalistic capacity, asking questions about a resident here. And I was unlawfully arrested, put in a jail cell, set a $75,000 bond for voyeurism, criminal trespass, and breach of the peace. You have nothing to say?
Come the police, look at this.
Were you the one that called the ground?
They're afraid of a man with a camera.
I was told that they never come to these meetings. Did you call them to be here? Do you have no soul, no compassion for a man being unlawfully arrested in the town of Groton? Yeah, I'm getting away from the question, have you ever arrested somebody for spitting in somebody's face and mouth before? I'm not gonna comment. I gotta ask a question. How about you?
Absolutely.
Have you ever arrested anybody for spitting in somebody's face and mouth, officer?
I'm not answering the question, sir.
I will just say, I think you guys did a good job. You didn't violate my rights. I uphold good law enforcement. And I condemn the bad ones. And I expose them. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is what happens. This is what happens. Two law enforcement officers for a man with a camera. They run out the back door. I should have had Leroy Truth. Make sure you go subscribe to Leroy Truth. I appreciate him coming all the way out here. He drove 3 hours in traffic to come to Groton, and I appreciate him for doing that, supporting me. You know, we the people need to stick together.
All right.
Town manager.
Oh, I left my microphone inside.
Town manager, let's speak. Let's talk. Let's fix this problem.
I left my microphone inside here. Here, I'll show you where I put my mic, then we're gonna go right out again. Here we go, see this? And the speaker was right here, so I was trying to get as close to it as possible. All right, and if someone spit in your face, what would you do?
Sir, I'm not answering that question.
It's a simple question.
I'm not answering that question.
Were you told not to answer it?
I'm not answering that question. I'm looking at you.
I'm looking for someone who has the courage to just say the truth. Obviously, it's wrong. And I mean, not a single person has condemned the behavior. Not a single one. No one has had the courage in the Groton Police Department, in the Groton Town Council, the Connecticut State Police. Not a single one has condemned what Sergeant Fahey did, the vile, disgusting spit into Sean's mouth and on his face. No one's condemning it. That's how we know the government is corrupt. I mean, among the other 3 trillion things we have, of course. When a vile crime happens against an innocent man, and not a single person comes out publicly who works in the government, police, Groton, Connecticut State Police, it's insane. Let me turn this around so I can see chats. Here, hold on. I want to be able to see the chats here. Hey, founders rule. I mean, this whole meeting tonight was ridiculous. They did a whisper meeting, and as I said earlier, I've gone to funerals that were more exciting than this. And what were they afraid of? To not let us speak. And then there's some random, maybe not so random guy that got in my way, was blocking me and was body checking me, and then he body checked Long Island Audit as well. And the cops did nothing. There's no law and order here. Yeah, thank you, Midwest. Evil will propagate and expand when good people do nothing. I mean, it is crazy. And how can not one single man or woman of integrity step forward and say, what Sergeant Fahey did was despicable, disgraceful, vile, and criminal? No one says that. They surround the wagons and protect this cancer. Sergeant Brian Fahey is a cancer to the people of the state of Connecticut. And I am deeply, deeply concerned that he may unalive someone with the history of violence I have seen against Sean. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. You realize that in a free country, a truly free country, we wouldn't have to work this hard to get justice for a criminal. Sergeant Fahey. The video of the attack against Sean, the vile, disgusting attack, has been seen millions and millions of times throughout the world right now. We all see it. Millions and millions of people see it's wrong. In fact, you know what? I would love to just hear your stories. If you have any young children, say 10 and younger, to ask them, give the scenario. If a man spit on another man who was walking away from that other man, would that be right or wrong? Simple. If a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old or even a 2-year-old can understand that concept, that spitting is wrong, why can't the entire state of Connecticut? The criminal justice system is not here to protect us. It's here to protect them, the criminals. And I hear Sean behind me on his live stream. They hate transparency. They hate accountability. It is just disgusting. So I want to read some super chats here. Let's see, how do I get to them here? I don't see them on my screen here. I really appreciate all the super chats. Let me see. I'm tapping on. No, I don't see them for some reason. But I appreciate everyone who's done the super chats. And now stay tuned for much more. And Edward, you wrote Edward Mitchell, just like Union City, Brian Stack, my opinion. Yeah, very, very similar. No one would talk with us. How is that possible? No one would speak with us. We're humans at the end of the day. I mean, that's the bottom line. We're not us and them. It's not police against we the people. It's not the council against we the people. We're all we the people. But they get into this ivory glass tower when they become elected or when they become police. Not one single human being was interested in talking with Sean or myself and asking questions to us. And we can ask questions to them and have an actual dialogue. It is so sad, ladies and gentlemen. No one was human here. And then there was either a bootlicker or maybe an off-duty cop who was trying to block me and body check me and then was blocking full court press. You're not here. You will be. You're here in spirit. Was blocking Sean, Long Island Audit, and body checked him. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. Period. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I so appreciate each of you. And any of you who can come here on July 25th, this Friday, 10 a.m., Sean has court. In fact, it's not here. It's in New London. I want to clarify. New London, Connecticut. Superior Court is where Sean's court case will be held. Here, change the scenery here. And I actually have court that day in Newark, New Jersey, and I am attempting to get an adjournment so I have 4 criminal charges I am facing, bogus criminal charges that Mayor Brian Stack of Union City has done against me in Newark for cyber harassment, for exercising my First Amendment right. It's sick. The chief of police, Anthony Ficini, corrupt chief of police of Union City, New Jersey. He has a charge of cyber harassment and harassment against me for exercising my First Amendment right. Again, and I have my court 9 o'clock this Friday, which is, Sean's is around 10 o'clock. Hey, Beth Colvin, thank you so much for coming to see me from Long Island Audit. Appreciate that. And yes, they hate the truth. They hate the truth. They wouldn't try so hard to stop us from speaking and exposing them if they didn't have something to hide. And I'm trying to get my court hearing adjourned so I can come to New London, Connecticut and support Sean during his court hearing and at the protest. So please come. If you can, take the drive. And also, I want to share with you a huge announcement. August 5th in Union City, New Jersey, ground zero of corruption in New Jersey, the most corrupt state in the country. I mean, Connecticut is corrupt, but this is times 1,000, times 1,000,000. I am holding and hosting with my team the second annual National Freedom Night Out that coincides with the police national night out that they have. We're going to have speakers from all over the country, phenomenal people at a press conference at 12 p.m. August 5th, Tuesday. Sean, Long Island Audit will be speaking. Full Court Press NB will be speaking. Garden State Accountability will be speaking. John Felix, coming up from Florida, will be speaking. Tyrant Terminator will be speaking. Scalzo Photo will be speaking. I have some new special guests who just joined our team. They're dynamos. They're amazing, who will be speaking. Mikey of Social Justice Water Pipe will be speaking. Lefty Edward Grimes will be speaking. We will be exposing corruption profoundly, en masse. The system hates that. Alone we fall, together we stand. And the key is not only watching our videos, commenting on our videos, sharing our videos, and please do that, because without that, the exposure will not be there. The reach will not be there. Part 2, please call peacefully the local government officials and the police chief, always peacefully. The Connecticut State Attorney General Tong, T-O-N-G. The governor, Ned Lamont, call him, demanding justice for Sean of Long Island Audit. Because what they did to Sean, they didn't just do to him, they did to you, they did to your family, they did to me. And if they're not stopped, if they're not checked, they will get more and more emboldened, and our rights will be decimated even more than they are. They only continue if we let them. And who else is stopping them than the work that we all are doing? And you are fundamental to our team. You are our team. There's no one else. The mainstream media doesn't do anything. They'll do a few corruption stories here and there to give the delusion that they are actually standing up to the government. But in reality, they only pick and choose a little fraction of things. Hunter, that's very funny. Leroy's a fancy man. We are literally the last defense of freedom in our country. Those of us on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram doing this work. There's no one else. And the key is, we don't just come in and highlight a story for clicks and views like mainstream media does and move on. We stick to a story until, ideally, the people involved, like Fahey, is indicted, charged, indicted, and arrested, and goes to federal prison for a long, long time. So we, the people who are in my group here, we the people who are in Sean's group here, we the people all across the country who support and follow all of the channels, big and small, we're the last defense. However, you're key. We put our lives on the line every day when we do this. And the key, you don't have to do that, to put your lives on the line. However, nothing will happen unless the town managers, the city managers, the mayors, the governors, the president, the attorney generals hear from you loudly, clearly, in unison, passionately, and always peacefully, that this must end. And whoever does the crimes, like Mayor Brian Stack, like Fahey, deranged Sergeant Fahey, like the Groton Police Department. Some people say, well, we have a lot of good cops in our department. Well, in Groton, I haven't seen one single good cop. And why do I say that? And how do I say, yeah, that's justified? Because when a bad cop does a bad cop thing, like criminal vile Sergeant Fahey did to Sean, where are all the other cops condemning that egregious behavior? This isn't even subtle. It's not like to say, well, was he just a little bit over the edge? No, what Fahey did, he brandished a freaking gun. Sean was an 1/8-inch trigger pull from being murdered, unalived, by Sergeant Fahey. And if Sean didn't have the groundedness and emotional maturity that he does, and the strength and the courage, where he only responded, he responded to what Sergeant Fahey did, he didn't react. Because Sergeant Fahey wanted him to do this. Push him. The moment Sean's fingers, which most people would instinctually push them away, who was this close to them, and spitting, imagine that. This is how close that Sergeant Fahey's mouth was to Sean's mouth and face. And someone does that and actually spits on you, your immediate instinct is to push them out of the way. And if Sean did that, he would not be here right now. He would have been DUMP. Possibly, I'm going to say possibly, most likely, by Sergeant Fahey. And the cameraman, there can't be any witnesses, right? It's crazy. We got something going on over here. Let's see. Here, hold on. Oh, we got good people here.
They like the loose cannons. Are you still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. They like the loose cannons. Yeah. They like the loose cannons. They like the people that are going to go out there. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you, sir. Thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck, pal.
Thank you. Yeah, man. So they like the loose cannons. They like the people that are going to go out there and
because like
fight
that guy.
for them.
Well, not only that, because like that guy, well, you know what? They've silenced him. He was wrong, but he's afraid to even come forward. Right. So all they need to do is bully 3 or 4 or 5 people, right. And that has waves all the way down the line. You get very few people like you that are going to stand up and
right. And that's why I do it. People are like, hey, I wish I could do what you're doing, and it empowers me because I'm like, I want to continue to do this because this person can't, this person won't, right. This person's too scared, and they've been through it. Yep. But guess what? I'm not scared. I have the people, not everybody has a million people behind my back.
You got following, right. You've got, you know,
and this is why I always say, if they could do it to me, right. Somebody that they know.
On camera. Yeah. Not even behind the building. On camera. They used to lock you up and beat you when there was no camera. Now they're just doing it in broad daylight.
On camera, they know I have the resources, or I can raise the resources for attorneys. Yep. They know that I have I don't need News 12. Right. I don't need CNN.
And your followers are impassioned. They all believe this. It's not right. It's not like, you know, CNN's got, you know, X amount, and they don't have as many people watching as you do. But there's no monolithic thought pattern behind the people that are watching there. Everybody watching your content believes in what you're doing. Right. So I mean, it's a
wild, man. It is wild. And the fact, like I said, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to address the specifics. But at least be a human. I know they all saw the video.
Of course. So
at least be a human. Say, hey, I have concerns about what happened. I would have respected that.
Or even leave with dignity. Even lie and say, Mr. Reyes, we haven't watched the video, but now I'm going to look into it. Here's how you can contact me. Right. They're not taking a position, but at least they're treating you like a human being. To act like that,
that's
just
how
proves they support it.
If I was a public servant, I would say, wait, why is this guy coming up to me with a camera about it? It says it's grave injustice. Right. If I didn't know about it, I would say, what are you talking about? Let me talk to you for a minute. And that's what makes me different from them. Because I would have said, hey, what are you talking about if I didn't know? Or if I did know, and guess what? I understand that there's liability here and everything else. I would say, hey, well, I wouldn't care. Because at the end of the day, whatever I say, the camera doesn't change. So I would say, I'm sorry that happened to you. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that the Groton Police Department, we're gonna learn from this, and we're gonna be better for it.
Or at least this is the
Because then
process
not
that
only that,
happens.
yeah.
Explain to me
Not
then,
only that,
explain
it's
to me
like,
how
yeah.
we're looking into this. This is the
Right.
individual that looks into it. This is the person who makes a decision. This is the person that is going to get back to you. At least explain the process to
Right.
a citizen, not
Right.
just we're going to stay silent.
Right.
But like you said, it's amazing. They all know how to remain silent.
Right.
But they hold it against you if you do.
I should have said that again. Take note. Look, ladies and gentlemen, take note. When the government gets in trouble, they shut up and they let their lawyers do the talking for them. So be quiet. Don't say a word when law enforcement's talking to you, and let your lawyer do the talking for you.
But then on top of it, it's just retaliatory too, because you know every part of your life right now is being scrutinized. Not that
Right.
yours hasn't been
Right.
already.
Right.
But in the meantime, while this is happening, they're looking to hem you up or jam you up on anything.
Right.
You know, if I was more boisterous, instead of telling that woman, like, how are you letting, because Leroy, I don't know, the guy bumped into you first, but he went into the hallway and complained to the cops and then immediately made a beeline to you guys. And I looked at the cop as he was bumping into you first.
Yeah, he
and I
body
said-
checked me,
yes,
yeah.
And I said to
Did
her,
the same thing
if
to me.
you're,
I was
I
like,
said,
"Oh, keep your hand." I was like, "Well, don't touch me, man."
I said to her, if you're here to keep the peace, you're watching this. And that's when she spoke up. She had no choice at that
Yeah.
point. But then on top of it, she did what she's supposed to do and whatever. But the bottom line is they'll watch all of that. And every...
Right, imagine I did that, right?
Right.
They'd be like, "Wait, you just assaulted the guy.
Yep.
You just assaulted. You committed disorderly conduct. Come here." But they see this guy, but because he's for them,
Right.
He's on their side.
What they don't understand
And
is
it gotta
the
stay
only
their side.
thing that will unite people
Right.
is the fact that hypocrisy, no one likes it.
Right.
And you know what I mean? When all of a sudden you just see hypocrites, where you just say that there's, rules for thee and not for me, it's just, at some point you're going to turn everybody off, because everybody figures out eventually it's just going to be me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just hasn't gotten to me yet. But
Right.
it's amazing because, every single time the Groton police act, it's a liability to this town. Why would the council just be okay with it?
Right.
Or even ask them to be their own personal bodyguards? You're asking them a question. That's what they ran for.
Right.
They ran to handle the problems for the town. I'm bringing a problem to you, and now you want the police to
Even
remove
this.
me with
Dude,
physical
you don't
force?
think when I saw these cop cars out here, first of all, the cops admitted to me, we don't normally come here for this. But when you don't think that chills my First Amendment speech? Because I see the same department who just arrested me for voyeurism, felony voyeurism, the same department who conspired with a lunatic, the same department who raised my bond to $75,000. I don't know these cops, so I don't know what they're capable of. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do
know
what I
what
do
they're
anyway.
capable
Right.
of, and it's not good.
Right. I know what they're capable of. Right. I don't know if they're not. I don't know if they're
What
good
their
or not.
intentions are now, right.
What their intentions are now. These particular ones, and I try and give, even if it's the same department, I try and give people, and I think that's what sets me apart. I try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Right? Hey, just because you look like that cop that spat in my face doesn't mean I'm going to treat you like that cop that spat in my face. I'm going to treat you with dignity and respect until you show me otherwise. And they were very respectful to me, and thank you for pointing that out to them about that guy, because I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it's so frustrating, because I'm like, you're just a regular citizen, dude. Right. You're over here because I'm asking them questions. You're gonna start body checking me and stuff, dude. Like, stop. Like, what? Like, if I'm a violent person, thankfully I'm not a violent person. But if I'm a violent person, when you body check me, I'm just gonna push you away.
Right.
But I'm just like,
or
hey man,
stand
just
out
stop,
here
right?
like I happen to be a supporter standing here talking to you guys. But if he has a real grievance with it, stand
Exactly.
out here. You're not running from anybody. You
Exactly.
didn't run from the guy with a gun. Why would you run from that guy?
Great point.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's. And even them, that's why I'm pretty sure where you
More police coming.
in, I backed in too, because I said, I know if I come here and support Sean, I know my license plate can't run.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just what they do.
Right.
I mean, and for what reason? Because I guarantee if I don't use a turn signal or stop at a stop or roll through a stop sign here.
Sad, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
it sad?
crazy.
Isn't it sad? I've seen a paramedic came to my protest in Danbury when I held my protest, and he was told that to watch out by the police department because I signed his mug. It was a very cool experience. I took a picture with him. He's like, I support what you do. His wife emailed me and told me they suspended him for shaking my hand and taking a picture with me. They suspended him, and they told him to watch his own back out there when he comes back. Yeah. Like, how disgusting are you? A paramedic, somebody who saves people's lives. Right.
Was that one of the police who arrested you?
I don't know. He looks familiar.
He looked like one of the guys talking with you right before he arrested you.
I don't know. He looks familiar, but I don't know. I don't know why he's even here.
There were 9 of them. It could have been the
Oh.
whole police force that got him.
Right.
Yeah, it was-
Right.
I mean, if it's the town of Groton, I can imagine.
Right, how many are there?
Your petition has 10 times the amount of citizens.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
My check.
Let's
We're
take.
very close. We're a couple hundred away, so we got to be close to 50.
Hey, can someone look and see how many signatures on the petition? Are we up to 50,000? My guess is we are.
This is insane. All because I want to ask questions. All because I want to hold people accountable for their actions.
But they won't hold accountable. You know what? This would have went away if they did the right thing the first time.
Can someone
It would have been
look and
over.
see how many
You would've
signatures
never-
on the
wouldn't
petition?
even
Are we up
remember
to
All they had to
20,000?
do, all they had to do was say, "Hey, Brian, can't do that. Can't grab people's phones. Can't break their phones. Can't do this." I mean,
Oh, wow. Okay, put them over the top. It's 49,919. Okay, we need, what do we need? 80,
if you violate somebody's rights, to me,
what do we need, 81? 81 signatures left. That's it.
Oh, you might have left your phone, Sean.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Yeah, that's my phone. I ran up out of there.
Yeah, no worries. You're sitting where in there? I just want to make sure. Front row? Yep, sounds good. Alrighty. Well, you have a good rest of your night, okay?
Take care, man.
Have a good one.
Have a good day, pal.
Oh, I left my phone in there. That's how.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how quick. That's how quickly I was out of there. That's how quickly I was following the council people out. Again, Scary Sean following people with a camera. Ooh, asking them questions about a grave injustice. I think anybody would say that that was a grave injustice that happened to me, right? July 11th. I mean, spit in the face, menace with a gun, and then to top it all off, getting arrested as the victim. It's crazy. So there's people in here that found the phone and they were like, "Hey."
Yeah, well, that's good. They brought the phone
I would have
in.
been like, "Oh man, my phone."
You got his phone back.
My personal phone.
But can you believe, even today, we both got body checked. We were physically attacked today. Me first, Sean
By
second.
some guy. I don't know who he was, but he's. And then when I'm talking about him, he looks at me like he wants to kill me.
Well,
It's like,
that was it. He looked
yeah.
at me because I blocked. So afterwards, I saw them come in, and I blocked the hallway. You know, and I just stood in the middle just to give a buffer, and I'm watching the guy, and that's when I called the police officer over, and I said, he called you, he got your attention, and you're watching this. And that's when she spoke up. But then as he was walking out, he started mugging me. It was this big.
Yeah.
What?
I know. He's looking at me like he
Yeah,
wants to like kill. Like, dude, what did I? Again, these people will never have the conversation. They will never say, "I would have loved to have a conversation with him." And say,
Me
"Hey,
too.
What did I do wrong?
Yep.
Why are you looking at me like you hate me?
How do I
You don't even know me,
How
dude."
about when I tell him that my cousin's the captain of the Connecticut State
Right.
Police? How about my grandfather was a patrolman? All my uncles are cops.
Right.
And I still am here for Sean.
Right.
Because right is right.
Right. That's the whole point. It's not about loyalty. It shouldn't be loyalty to a badge. It's loyalty to a fellow American. Right. We have to have loyalty to each other about our rights, because guess what? Like I said, if they can do it to me, they'll do it to any one of you. Right. They'll do it to anybody. They'll do it. They'll do it in a heartbeat.
And at the
Felony
same time,
voyeurism. Right. You can't make this up.
You could, and that's what they did.
Right,
Yeah,
they
made
did.
it up.
They made it up.
Yeah.
And here's something I was saying before is that no one, now fortunately you're here dialoguing with us, but when that guy came up to me first, he looked like he wanted to unalive me.
Right.
I mean, there was hatred.
Hatred in his face.
Right.
He walked outside and
Vicious
immediately
hatred.
got him. He flagged him in, and then immediately made a beeline to you two.
Yeah.
And just to get physical, not
Yeah.
even
But for
wasn't
what?
even
Like, are you
why?
cousins with Fahey? Like, what is your deal? Like, what is it that I'm doing that you felt the need that cops who protect these guys all the time
Had to be
are
protected.
just like this. They're hanging back just watching.
Right.
They're just hanging back watching as I'm walking. They didn't say anything to me as I'm following the councilman to his car, asking him questions. Watch any report. Like, this is not new. The only thing that's new is that I'm independent. I don't have any bosses. I don't have a fancy microphone. I don't have a CNN jacket. That's the only thing to do. Hey, can I get some comment from you, sir? Hey, what do you think about the allegations?
And they're not attacking them.
No. And they're not throwing hands with them and body checking them. That guy, there's some connection he has, because
we got to find out what it is.
The vitriol in his face was just like, he just looked like, I hate you. And I'm all because I said, I would have never known who he was. But I just said, hey, don't touch me, man. Can you back away from me? We're not going to do that.
And here's the thing. Any other citizen, any other person in Groton that does that to you behind Brian Fahey, he knows you're right.
Right.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you internally that you're looking at it the wrong way, if this happened with Fahey's neighbor and you, that guy would have got arrested.
Right.
You would have never gotten arrested.
Right.
So just internally, if you understand that Brian Fahey is the only one that gets this protection, and like I said, he doesn't need the protection. He's already proven he could do whatever he wants with no recourse. So why would you feel the need to go
shot
protect
a man
him?
before.
That's what I mean. He one's out with a gun. He doesn't need any extra protection. That's why when cops tell us, I need to know your identity for our safety. For our safety, there's 5 of you here. You all have guns. You all have clubs. You all have.
This guy is a great speaker.
And you also have the power of the state behind you, and you need my ID to protect you.
Right.
That ID is like a bulletproof vest, to them. But something I said on my live stream earlier is I said, like everyone saw what Fahey did, and on the baseline, I asked the female officer, "Is it wrong to spit on someone?" She said, "I can't answer that." And so of course she could. And I said, there's not one single person out of all the people who have seen this. Now millions and millions have seen this throughout the world, and not one single government employee has come out publicly and say something that a 2-year-old would say. Spitting is wrong.
You got one yesterday at the state police headquarters, the guy who came out.
Oh, when I talked to him.
Yeah, he did actually say to you, that's the one person, but not in his position, which
that was Davis.
But as just a normal human being, at least he finally said to you, I don't condone that.
Right. So one person, when I was talking to Connecticut State Trooper Davis yesterday, he did it in uniform. But I asked the people on my live, I said, ask if you have a child 10 years or under, just ask them if spitting is wrong. And like 99.9 or 100%, everyone would just say yes. But not only is it wrong, it's a crime. Plus, there was the brandishing of the gun.
Right.
Whole nother level.
Right. I mean, that lawyer, the Southern Draw Law, he did a great job breaking it down. Again, I have many friends in law enforcement throughout the country. I've communicated with all of them. They've all told me, I'm so sorry that happened to you. They were empathetic. They said that was completely uncalled for. You have every right to knock on his door. You left when he told you to leave. It should have been over right there. Anybody with any sort of critical thinking skills and a moral compass can tell you what happened to me was a travesty of injustice, and that's not overstating it. It was a travesty of justice. It was an injustice, a grave injustice, and that's all I was. Again, you know me, Leroy. We talk offline and everything, but you would have if the mayor, the manager, if they would have said, listen, we're sorry that happened to you. Sorry you went through that. We're looking into it, whatever. I would have said, you know what? I would have said, they're doing something about it. And then maybe I would have took that into account when it comes to the lawsuit, right? I would have said, you know what? At least out of every other town I've dealt with, every other municipality, at least they had the balls to say, I'm sorry.
What that would have done, Sean, is it would have taken the responsibility and put it right on Brian Fahey here, right on Brian Fahey, the perpetrator of it.
Right.
But now they've made it a town-wide thing.
Right.
The town supports that. The town's okay with it because the injustice wasn't just you got spit on. It became so much worse because you were put in a position where a crime was committed against you. Everybody in this state, even though we have a duty to retreat, you were retreating. But at that point, when you get spit on, you have the right to react. That's just the law.
Right.
But if you react, he took away that right by holding a gun, which he couldn't have had in this capacity. But then on top of it, the injustice then continues because then you get down to the cul-de-sac and then the power of the state takes over. Right. So it's like it was an injustice that continued to snowball, and they could have at least put the responsibility all on Brian Fahey and say, we don't agree with that. You know, we're looking into it. But no, now Groton's involved.
Why not put it on the one criminal, the officers that arrived on the scene from Groton? Hey, listen, man, tell Fahey, I don't know why you spit in the guy's face. Like, even they could say, I understand. I hate this guy too, but it's against the law. I got to do my job. What do they tell all the time when they arrest people? Hey, I'm just doing my job, man. Do your job. Arrest the bad guy. Arrest the criminal. And instead, they arrest me and my camera guy. And if I didn't have the money, if I didn't put it on a credit card, if I didn't have support, if I wasn't able to raise money to hire the top shot attorney, when my attorney walks in there on Friday, well, he's in Europe, but when his partner does and they know that he's on there representing me, they're going to be like, oh man.
You have an incredible attorney, like extraordinary.
The best in Connecticut. Because I have so much support from each and every one of you watching, everybody that have supported me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting me and my camera guy, the best attorney. Who knows? Maybe they drop the charges. I doubt it, because then they're opening themselves up again. And now it keeps going down the line, right? It starts with Fahey. Now then it's Groton Police Department. Then it's the town council that refuses to condemn it. Now it's the state's attorney who's going to maliciously prosecute me. Because why? Because now, well, we got it now. Right. We got to now. We have to prosecute him now. Because what else are we supposed to do? He's gonna sue us into oblivion.
Not to mention, they have to look at it and say, you know, if the whole idea was public integrity, public safety, any of it, they would even say, like they have with, you know, when they put you in protective custody, they look at it and go, okay, now we're going to charge this guy with a bond that, again, luckily you have resources. But if you don't, it's prohibitive to getting out on a charge that they know is bullshit.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you go, we're putting them in jail. Correction officers don't like Sean Reyes because he's held their feet to the fire.
Right.
What danger are we putting this guy in? For what
nothing.
reason?
For
They know the charges won't stick. They know
the state's attorney is a
eventually.
very intelligent man.
He's incredible.
I am not going to denigrate his intelligence.
Right.
He is the state's attorney of you don't just get appointed to that position. In New York, we elect our
Well,
DAs.
that's Attorney General Tong.
Right.
Yeah.
No. The state's attorney for New London. The
Gotcha.
attorney general out here in
Yeah.
Connecticut, I think they only handle civil matters.
Right.
I don't think it's not like New York. Connecticut's backwards, man. The police set your bond at first, which is insane to me. I've never heard of that. The state's attorneys aren't elected. They're appointed by a commission that's appointed by the governor. So they don't have to worry about, am I going to get elected if I prosecute this guy next time? They don't have to worry about anything. There is no attorney general criminal division that I know of.
No accountability.
Right. So there's, you know, he really has nothing other than his public perception and people knowing. And I'm thankful for my platform that I have, that I'm able to, without my platform, I'd probably be spending the rest of my life in jail or dead. Right. I mean, they would have just railroaded me. But fortunately, people, you know, now the news is covering it, thankfully. The first two times the news, the local Connecticut news, yeah, we're not going to cover it. What do you mean you're not going to cover it? You see him grab at my camera. I didn't do anything to him. The last words I said to him before this escalated was, he said, "Nice meeting you." And I said, "You too. Have a good day." Turns around. Turns back around. Sees me, I didn't leave at his pleasure. Right. So he says, "Well, you're gonna go, right?" "I'll be going, yeah." And the only reason I was there is because I wanted to do an outro. If you've seen my videos, I wanted to be like, "Hey guys, we're just getting out of the Connecticut State Police." You know, that guy, I probably just would have been like, that sergeant didn't seem like he really gave a shit about my complaint. You know, dismissive, said he was really busy. You know, but Internal Affairs isn't here. We're gonna go to Internal Affairs. Cut Internal Affairs now. That would have been the end of it. Sergeant Fahey would have been a footnote in the Long Island audit history, right? And now, because of his ego, he couldn't let it go. You're gonna go right now. And because I told him maybe you should get back to work. I should get back to work if you're busy.
Oh, but then you violated his ego.
Right.
And that was, you know, game on for him.
And then, boom, throws the camera down to the ground.
And then the other one's got his handcuffs
Handcuffs
out.
out.
I mean, it's Internal Affairs is supposed to look at that and say, you know, I mean, just for public perception, you have to say it's wrong, because anybody with common sense goes, this guy's going to lock this guy up. If they have that much power to take away an innocent man's freedom, like, everybody's supposed to be worried.
Right.
You know, I mean, that was just ridiculous. And then the second time, the cop's watching as he's like an animal pulling the door, putting his hands on you again, and you're asking her, "You going to do anything about that?" Again, she justifies it. Well, you really shouldn't be in the... First of all, I am in here, so what do you mean I shouldn't be? And second of all, that doesn't give him the right to do something I can't do to him.
They always try and twist things and make it seem like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have knocked on his door. Why don't you stop telling me things that I have a right to do, and start telling him things that he doesn't have a right to, that he's criminal?
It's like one of those things that if you are going to forgive every single one of the things that he's done that are glaringly wrong, retreating in his house, coming back out, closing the distance from 60 or 70 feet, pretending he's scared, but closing the distance, carrying a firearm outside of a holster while he comes down, spitting in you and lying about spitting, saying it's coming out while I'm talking to you, lying about me threatening to kill you, all of those things. And they say to you, you know, maybe you could have handled this differently. Like, you knew when you came here he was going to be mad. Okay.
And I said it. I told them. I said, he has every right to be mad. Yes, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure he was going to be mad.
I'm here because I'm mad.
Right,
Because he puts his hands on me against, yes, I'm mad.
Right, I'm mad. Right.
I didn't threaten to shoot him. I didn't bring a gun. I didn't spin on him.
But here's something really important, is that when Sean rang the doorbell, he immediately came off of the porch, probably at least 10 feet off of the porch to make sure that there was not even the closest
The reason why
perception
I
of
did
a
it is 'cause I
threat.
wanted a space between me and this guy.
Yeah.
Stop watching it.
Yeah.
4.4 seconds between him saying, get off your property,
Right,
to you looking at the cameraman
from the
saying,
camera-
let's go,
right.
and going.
And that and it's quicker, and they can't just, well, hopefully, I mean, we'll see. They said they've seen the video of his Ring camera. It was, for me, it was quicker than, it was instantaneous.
And never stopped
Right.
retreating.
For
Not
me,
one
it was,
time.
The reason why you hear me say let's go is because I'm already moving back, and then I'm seeing my cameraman's not moving back, so I told him let's go so he can come back. But again, the way I see it, he was looking at me, he was talking to me, my cameraman was just recording. That's why I told him let's go, because I don't think he really understood the situation that was happening. That's why I said let's go. Yes, there was 4.4 seconds. There was. But for me, it was
That's
immediate.
a split second. That's 4.4 is a split second.
Right.
That's, people's brains don't operate quicker than that. It just,
Right.
But not only that, in this state, we have a duty to retreat. Even on our own property, if we have the ability to retreat, we have a duty to retreat. He went into his house. He made the 911
And
call.
shut the
We're
door.
still good.
Yeah.
Take your weapon, stand at your door on the ready. That's fine. But you are now 50, 60, 70 feet away from him. He closed the distance. He had to speed up to get in your face. And then he's chest bumping you. This is not the action
And
of
the way
somebody
the
who's
news
scared.
and the way the news covered it, there was the Hartford Courant. They wrote a story and they said, as Reyes very slowly made his way off the property.
Because the guy's got his gun.
Right.
I mean, it
But
doesn't make sense.
Very, very slowly. And again, it's all relative, right? Somebody actually did. One of my supporters actually. People are great, man. He took an aerial view, timed it from the video, and he estimated how fast I was walking, and he's like, that's average speed. So he's like, can you please, he sent the letter to the editor, can you please correct your statement? But this is the way they frame it.
Sure.
He moved very
We have to see
slowly
it,
off of it, right?
absolutely.
And then, but they didn't say anything about Fahey rapidly closing the distance.
Closing the distance.
He
You know
just
how
said they
fast he has
walked
to
up
go to
him.
close the distance?
Right.
And then on top of it, he slowed you down by closing the distance, because who would turn their back to somebody who's got a gun on them?
Not
You
me.
have no choice but to stare
Exactly.
and look at him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Not
So
me.
now all of a sudden you're forcing me to
And plus,
backpedal.
what do I do? I'm supposed to walk away from him?
With a guy with a gun.
And then,
Sean.
Yeah.
a guy with a gun, and then I turn around, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you reached for his waistband."
Sean, on top of the fact that once you hit the easement part of the driveway, there's two. At that point, you guys got pushed over into the neighbor's end of it. You're off his property, even if it's an easement.
Right.
At that point, you're on the neighbor's property. You know,
Right.
so
Right,
we
he
all know
came
he
off
wasn't
of his
right,
property.
absolutely.
He came off of his
onto
property
the street,
onto the public
but once
street.
you came down the driveway and then veered into the neighbor's side, even if he has an easement right to it, he doesn't own that property anymore.
Right.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
I saw his parcel of land. Actually, so you know how it goes up and then it splits into two.
Mm-hmm.
His goes like this, and he owns. But I don't see how you can
You
have.
can't. I have an easement in a commercial building, and what happens is I have a duty to take care of it. Technically, I own it. The other person has as much rights as to have it, and I can't tell what they can't do is stop in the easement. Like, you can't park in the easement if he tells you to get off his property, but
Right.
you have every right to use the easement even if he doesn't want you on his property, because it's access to the other person.
Yeah, because I wondered how legally that works, because I would need to use that road to get to somebody else's house.
Yeah, he can't.
It's
can't
not the
deter
only
you from
thing
that.
to his house.
Right.
Yes, technically the way it's cut,
Right.
he owns it, right? But I'm like, how is that possible? Like, so if he told the other guy, like, hey, you can't, this is my property, how is he supposed to get to his house, right? How is he supposed to get to his house?
Right.
Or how is anybody? What if I what if I was friends with his neighbor?
Right.
What if I was friends with his neighbor and he trespassed me from his property, and his neighbor's like, no, you can come over my property. I gotta walk through the woods.
Well, there's two houses on down that driveway.
Right. That's what I'm saying. His
Yeah.
house and the other house.
Right. Yeah.
I actually had to pay.
I'm gonna
I
become
have a
friends with his
commercial
neighbor.
building.
Good idea.
Yeah, exactly. I have a
Let's have a
commercial
party.
building with an easement on the parking lot, and I actually own the entrance. I've actually had to pay my neighbor who doesn't own the property zoning fines, because people have actually stopped in the easement that were doing business at my place.
Right.
So I have to pay him, because at that point it blocks his access in. So I mean, yeah, the neighbor, you have every right to use it, even if he doesn't want to own the property.
And then he had no right to chase me down the whole thing then.
Hey, I just came back here for a minute here.
Because at that point I just assumed, you know, as a logical person, I'm like, well, how could this be his property if it goes to two different things? And then somebody sent me the GIS survey, and it shows this whole square, whatever it is, that, you know, he has access to that property. But it's just that's his property. But again, he could have closed the door. This again, the theme of Sergeant Brian Fahey and my interaction is he could have just handled it just like a normal person every single time. Closed. He could have walked inside and went back to work. He could have allowed me to do my FOIA request the second time and said, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I already had a problem with this guy. He came to me. And they're like, oh, you went back to Connecticut. I went there to file FOIA requests. I'm allowed to forget my motives. My motives
Right.
don't matter
Just,
anyway.
just because he's a bully doesn't mean it
let me not go
stops
to
your
Connecticut
rights.
State Police because this guy's a bully and he violates my rights. No, it makes me want to go there even more because I don't stand down to bullies. I stand up to tyrants like him and pieces of shit like him because that's what he is. And again, knocking on his door. I was really curious about this $80,000. That's a lot of money. I mean,
question.
Right? It's a lot of money for somebody who works a 9 to 5. Like, you know how much overtime you have to work in order to get 80,000, 70% of your salary?
And the citizens should care because in this, their pension package includes the 3 best years they've ever had. So it's X amount of percentage of the 3 best years. So they've had those years where, you know, all of a sudden he has a $200-something thousand. So that isn't just $70,000.
This is his third year doing this.
Right, and
so
that's
probably what
because
he's doing.
now do the math on it. That it's not just $80,000 we're paying. Now he's going to get that till the day he dies. He's going to. So now all of a sudden, I mean, that's literally $1 million. It's literally going to cost the citizens $1 million for this.
It started, his overtime started in 2021, I believe.
Because what happened is all of these people started to get work from home hours, all the state workers. So now all of a sudden they got people that made 70, 80 grand a year, all of a sudden were making $140 and they weren't even going into the office because at home you could rack up all these hours working from home.
Right.
You know, but like you said, listen, if you have a desk job that the building's open 9 to 5, how do you justify overtime? Because once they went to that system, they just stuck with it. He puts in all these hours like he's working from home. And like I said, their pension is based on your best 3 years. You get, let's say, 60%. So that extra 80,000, you know, over the 3 years, now all of a sudden 60% of that.
It makes so much sense
It's an extra $48,000 a year in pension.
Because this started, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because you could see all of his overtime. His overtime started in 2021 when we first had our encounter. So maybe he was like, I'm going to, however he's getting this overtime, maybe his boss, I don't no idea. Because I'm told by people inside the department that he works at pistol permits because he's an unhinged individual. And they don't want him interacting with the public. That's what I was told. But if he's and this is his 3rd year, now what he's going to do? What is he going to do? He's going to retire. He made $225,000 for 3 years.
So now it averages out. And that's
now it averages out. He's going to get his nice pension. Makes sense.
Bingo. This is very strategic.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Leroy, I got to get going.
All right.
I got a long trip back.
I'm going to close this out. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Long Island Audit. Please subscribe if by miracle you're not. Subscribe to Leroy Truth Investigations. And you were awesome, by the way. What's your name?
Nice to meet you.
You are awesome.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
All right. God bless you all. We're going to stay on this story until it's done.
For coming out. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Appreciate all you guys.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. See you next time, everybody. Okay. Appreciate you all. God bless you.
I was watching the live stream earlier and you said you were going to